Alright, so One Piece making the jump to live-action TV, it's gotta carry over a heap of what I'll affectionately call anime quirks. First off, let's talk hair. It's like only the cool kids in the show get the neon hair memo. Now, this ain't a death sentence for the series, just a nod to how some stuff flows from anime to TV, like screaming out attack names. That's not your typical TV showdown, right? Now, here's where things get a tad confusing. One Piece seems a bit unsure about its target audience. You've got this young dude pondering if a girl likes him, but then they're dropping S-bombs left and right. Plus, for all the stabby action, you don't actually see blades sinking in, even though it's a cartoony world. That's a bit weird on the age rating front. But hey, just like Pirates of the Caribbean, which might owe a nod or two to One Piece, this shows a wild, noisy roller coaster that grown-ups can dig, irony or not. I mean, come on, it's a pirate show based on a cartoon. No need to get all Ascent of Man serious here. Embrace the silliness. That's the name of the game. Now let's dive into the ensemble chaos of One Piece, shall we? Unlike your typical TV series that might stretch things out to explore, this show feels like it's packing a suitcase way too tight, kind of like those over-the-top popcorn blockbusters. It just can't resist tossing new characters into the mix at lightning speed. Sure, that's par for the course for the first hour or so, but One Piece just keeps at it, like it's always the first hour. But hold on, there's a twist. Thanks to those vibrant anime stereotypes, it miraculously doesn't turn into a Game of Thrones mess where you're squinting and going, "Who's that again?" They've got it under control. No need for hair colors to be the key. They've got a couple of classic cocky anime pretty boys in the mix, and trust me, you won't mix them up. Now, gotta drop the bad news. Among this sprawling cast, there are a few stinkers in the acting department. Maybe it's the challenge of reacting to a world that's mostly green screen, but sometimes the lines, even the supposed tearjerkers, come off like someone's reading from an invisible script. And as for Luffy's boundless enthusiasm, well, it's there, but it's a bit one note. Now let's give credit where it's due, folks. When it comes to action, One Piece knows what's up. They've got their act together with sensible shot lengths, none of those mind-bending rapid cuts that leave you dazed. Yeah, you can tell it was once a cartoon, but that doesn't hurt it at all. When a brawl kicks off, it's like all the gears click into place, and suddenly, you're too caught up in the action to remember the wooden acting from just moments ago. It's almost like that's what the cast was picked for. Here's the funny twist, though. The weaker performances tend to come from the good guys, the sympathetic characters. But the villains, oh boy, they're the hammy, mustache-twirling, borderline histrionic types this production thrives on. One Piece ain't aiming for subtle, nuanced baddies, and that's just fine. Even the ones with a hint of goodness about them are unmistakably, often literally, donning those black hats. Now here's the kicker, my friends. One Piece, despite being all about a proud and unapologetic pirate, isn't alone in this boat. Pirates have always had this unique tension in their tales. They're fun-loving rebels, but they do some pretty shady stuff. But, hold on a second. Before you think that's a surprise, consider this. Even before the Age of Sail, stories of good-hearted thieves who were explicitly the good guys were already a thing. So, drawing a clear line between the fun-loving pirates and the wicked ones. Easier than you might think. Now let's talk about One Piece tackling big themes. It might not go full-on subtle, but it's not going to scare off its younger audience either. You've got this classic tug-of-war between liberty and order, and there's even a surprisingly well-done take on internalized sexism, which is pretty remarkable given the small number of named female characters. And, get this, it doesn't trip over itself like a lot of media tends to do when handling gender politics. Now, I know what you're thinking. How does all of this fit into a world where a guy munches on a magic fruit, turns into rubber, and stretches like Stretch Armstrong? Well, believe it or not, it fits like a glove. This is a recurring theme in the best anime and its offshoots. They can be wacky and dead serious all at once, and they don't let one mess with the other. It's a fine balance, and One Piece nails it. But here's the kicker. Netflix's track record for canceling even its most beloved shows after just a few seasons is well known. And hey, the original One Piece is still sailing strong after over 2 decades. So, it's safe to say that the live-action version's youthful cast would eventually be doing their swashbuckling with a side of gray hair and potbellies. So, if you're a One Piece fan, maybe think of this as a fun little novelty, like what used to be a one-off film adaptation. And trust me, it's a better watch than most of the film spin-offs out there.